Welcome back, Duelist. Casual Duelist here. And before we get into today's deck profile, which by the way is Paleo-Frog, because I don't remember why we made a comment. It was in the comment section, I think. I did that bit of a frog obelisk deck, and somebody was like, yeah, frogs. And I'm like, yeah, frogs. Let's do the Paleo version next. And then we all agreed. And my teammates bullied me, and my one friend came over and he said, here, use my Totally Awesomes, because I know that you only own the one because you're silly. And I was like, thanks. So that's a whole bunch of nothing. Let's talk about the week 4 winners. This was selected between the three of us here at the team that showed up today. So 0_4 zeros. Thank you for leaving great comments. And MN_Seahawk25 the Hawk. Same to you. Thank you. We will have let you know in the comment section. We will tag you in previous comments to let you know. And again, all you have to do is send me an email, or not an email, send me an email that contains your mailing address to the casualduelist78@gmail.com, and then we can go ahead and send you out some prizes. So again, congratulations. Thank you for taking the time to leave comments. Again, that's all you have to do to enter. In case anybody else out there is like, well, I want to win some stuff, leave some comments. That's all you need to do. And of course, respond by the Saturday, the end of day Saturday that same week. So you do those two things, and then I send you some free cards. If you're curious what cards they are, if you've been paying attention to any of the openings or the fan mail opening, any cards that are extra or provided through the openings, things that me, my teammates, or anything that was sent in specifically for that, are the cards that you guys are eligible to win. So no, I'm not going to every video just show you guys. But you guys, if you've been watching for a while, or if you're about to start watching, maybe look back and refresh yourself on what packs we opened. And that's that. Now, that's been 2 minutes too long. Let's leave our winners up here. And let's talk about Paleofrog. So, real quick, this is sort of the disclaimer. This is huge on trap cards. If you got a Jinzo player in the near vicinity of you, laugh at them. But this is pretty gold. Pretty gold. So let's try it. 3 Dupe Frogs. Good card. 2 Ronin Toads. Great card. 3 Swap cards. Best Frog. Moving on to the spells. 1 card of Demise, and I'll explain that later. And 3 Pots of Desire, End of Spells. That's right, guys. That was 8 monsters and 4 spells for 12 cards of that. Let's get into the 28 trap cards, okay? So we're going to have 3 copies Dimensional Barrier, because great card, good card. 1 copy Imperial Order, and this is not the most current errata, so I will explain the most current effect, of course. 1 copy Lost Wind, because Lost Wind is good. 2 copies of Canadia. 3 copies of Dinomischus. 2 copies Leoncolia. 3 copies of Olenoids. And that's enough of the crazy pronunciations. Let's go over to our 3 copies of Reckless Greed, aka Pot of Greed. Let's go over to our 3 Solemn Judgments, and of course our 3 Solemn Strikes. And of course we got 2 Torrential Tributes. Now the only thing with this is your opponent sort of needs to interact with you. And 2 copies of Trap Trick, because yes. So it's not bad. It's a nice 40 card build right there. Let me give you guys a quick extra deck list. So we're going to use 1 copy of Anomalocaris. Okay, cool. 2 copies of Opabinia. 1 Sky Cavalry Centuria. 3 copies of Totally Awesome. And again, thank you to my teammate. Tentatively, we're calling him Budget Duelist until he gets a mat that actually says it, because he likes to do things on a budget. We got the 1 copy of Apollosa. We got the 1 Boral Sword, the 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn. And 2 Mistar Boys, because he's got a fancy dandy mustache and a good effect. It's more the effect. And for the fact that you can produce a OTK swing with it, if you can generate both of them with your Toad. Because that turns out it's actually a even 8,000. Ask my teammate. Anyway, if you guys just came to get the update on who's who for the who won the week 4 giveaways, and you just wanted a quick, this is actually semi-competitive deck list. I'm not going to throw competitive on it because this isn't something I would take to regionals, but I would take this to locals every day of the week. This is definitely a fun, and this is fairly budgeted too. I mean, totally awesome. Might be one of the more expensive cards in the deck. Maybe the Boral Sword and the IP too. But again, everything in here has been getting reprints. So this is actually fairly budgeted. You could probably pick this up for just about $30 to $40 if you had to buy everything brand new. And if that's all you were here for, thank you for watching. Leave a subscription if this helped you. And definitely go tell your friends. And class is dismissed. I'll see you guys on the next video. You go enjoy the rest of your day. Everybody else, let's talk over the strategy now. So Duelist is pretty great. We can disregard the whole counts as Death Frog while it's face up on the field. It does do the following for us. The opponent cannot select another monster as an attack target, which is great if we can get this guy into face-up defense. And additionally, when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, and again, we can do this for link summoning, or synchro summoning, or attributing for the effect of Totally Awesome. We can add a frog monster, except Dupe the Frog. Dupe Frog or Frog the Jam from the deck or the graveyard. That second word is important, the graveyard, to your hand. This will allow you to recycle swap frogs, if need be, but you can't do anything with Rodent Toad. So Dupe Frog is here to get you to swap Frog to start a bigger play. Toad at 2. Well, Toad is at 2 because, again, while it counts as Death Frog, you could remove a frog monster from the graveyard. So you can never remove a Ronin Toad for another Ronin Toad. So 3 is too many. 2 is just about right, just in case we accidentally rip one out with the Pot of Desires. So again, that's another reason we're playing the multiples of some of these cards. Anyway, you can remove Frog from the graveyard, except Frog the Jam, to special summon this card from the graveyard. This cannot be used as synchro material. Fantastic. We're going to link an Xyz with him, so that's going to be fantastic. Again, Swap Frog. We can special summon this from the hand if we can discard another water monster from our hand to the graveyard, which is great. This immediately sets up the Ronin Toad if you do this, because it'll throw either the Toad from your hand and throw like Dupe Frog to the graveyard or another Swap Frog, or maybe you've got the Toads are still in your deck, you'll throw the Toad while pitching another Frog from your hand, allowing the whole thing to go live. Now again, we trimmed back a bit of the Frog deck into more of a Frog engine. This is more of a perfect marriage between the Paleozoics and the Frogs, and so we wanted the strongest players of both. Going on to the second effect, when this is summoned, and it doesn't matter if it's from the special summon or a normal summon, you can send one level 2 or lower water aqua from the deck or face up on the field to the graveyard. I don't know why you do the second one, whatever. And this is really what lets you get that effect. Once per turn, you can return a monster you control to the hand, and you can normal summon one frog monster from the main, from your main. Let me try that one more time. You can return a monster from that you control to the hand, and you can normal summon one frog monster during your main phase this turn, except Swap Frog as an additional normal summoner set. And you can only gain this effect once per turn, so you're not just going to keep bouncing it and keep summoning it and keep doing it. But you should be able to use the Swap Frog to bounce himself to normal summon him, and then gain the effect a second time to load the discard pile. You should. I never had to, but you should be able to. So that's good. Real quick to the spells, we've got the card of Demise. This lets us draw until we have 3 cards in our hand. Also, for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, our opponent will take no damage. We need this because we need setups. So that's why we're going to be doing this. During the end phase of the turn, we have to send our entire hand to the graveyard. We can only activate one of these per turn. Again, we're probably going to be setting most of this since it's such a trap-heavy deck. And that'll be that. Pot of Desires is real quick here. It's just banish the top 10 of your deck face down, so your opponent can't see them, but you're allowed to go ahead and inspect them whenever you choose, and draw 2 cards afterwards. You can activate one of these per turn. This is, Pot of Desires, Pot of Greed, whatever. Going over to the many traps, and since we had so many trap zones to use, 28 in total, I decided we'd mix it up and use some new tech. I wanted to use Dimensional Barrier for once. This card allows us to declare 1 monster card, typing, whether it's a Ritual Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum. It does leave out Link and other main deck types, whether it be normal or effect. For the rest of the turn, neither player can special summon monsters of the declared type. Also, negate the effects of all monsters with that type while they're on the field. You may only activate one of these per turn. This will be a good trap activation to get your Paleozoics back. In addition, there are a couple of decks, and this is one that we ran across during playtesting. Ritual is very easy to stun for a turn, because a lot of the time you will see the spell card Pre-Preparation of Rites, and seeing that spell allows you to effectively run this trap real quick. And again, against synchro plays, you'll tend to see when they're going to synchronize. If it's a deck that tends to Xyz summon, since Master Rule 5, Dimensional Barrier has gotten a lot better again. So I run it at 3, it works. Imperial Order, everybody who played back in the day, you guys know this card. This works differently now. We still negate all spell card effects on the field, and during each standby phase you pay 7 higher life points or destroy this card. The errata is this is no longer an optional payment. Once you activate the Imperial Order, you must stick to the Imperial Order until you are physically unable to pay those hit points. Which is why we only ran 4 spells in the deck. We didn't want to hurt ourselves. We do use the 1 Lost Wind, and everybody who's familiar with Speed Duel, you guys are using this like crazy right now. Target a face-up special summon monster on the field, negate its effects, and its original attack is halved. If a monster is special summoned from the opponent's extra deck while this is already in the graveyard, you can set this card and banish it when it leaves the field. So fantastic. Not only are you going to kill effects, but at the same time, we're going to have the original stats. So that could be a game winner against a lot of cards, especially here in the main game where we're going to special summon like crazy. We got 2 Canadias. Now, before I talk about Paleozoic individually, let's talk about them overall. They all activate once as a normal trap card. And then while they're in the discard pile, if another trap card has activated, then they will special summon to the field as a normal monster, 2 stars Aqua, water attribute, 1200 attack by 0 defense. They are not treated as trap cards during that time, and if special summoned this way, they are unaffected by monster effects and are banished when they leave the field. Now, being unaffected by monster effects is pretty important. The fact that they are no longer considered trap cards is ultra important. And the fact is, based on this wording, and I swear back in the day, it was only normal traps could stop or could summon them. But we checked a little bit online before making this video, and I guess I could do this on a counter trap. I guess I could do this on a continuous trap, so I can activate the Imperial Order and swarm them. During playtesting, I played by the old ruling. I only played them when I can activate a normal trap as opposed to continuous or counter. And just real quick, just to show you, even though it says right here, it says trap card, I know that symbol means counter and stuff, but it just, I couldn't find anywhere online during the quick 5-minute, do my homework. I couldn't find anywhere where it was saying it had to be normal traps only. So feel free to play them unless somebody can show me or link me the errata elsewhere for that ruling. At which point, please share that down in the comment section. Let's get everybody on the same page. Canadia, however, is going to be Book of Moon. So target a face-up monster the opponent controls, change it to face-down defense. Brilliant. Dinomischus. Target a face-up card on the field, discard a card, and banish it. So he's Karma Cut, I believe, was the old school trap card. And again, summon it when another trap is played. Paleozoic Leoncolia. I chose to use this at 2 instead of using... there was another one I wanted to use as a one-of. It's essentially extra Foolish Burial Goods. Just Foolish Burial Goods. And I went with the double Leoncolia because I am using 3 Pots of Desires. And there were games where I would play up to 2 of those. And this lets us target banished cards and return it back to the graveyard. And sometimes you can't always predict whether or not you're going to banish both of your Ronin Toads. So double Leoncolia helps me kind of curve that out and make sure that I will be able to place them back in my discard pile if I need to. Additionally, if I didn't banish him, but he is in the graveyard, this could be an extension play to activate a trap, get some summonings back, or also pull extra fodder for the Ronin Toad to extend the play that way. So very good. Olenoids, target a spell trap on the field, destroy it. This guy's, MST plus a summon. Reckless Greed. I don't mind not drawing for 2 turns because of how many cards either tutor or allow us to do these massive draws. And Reckless Greed. You might as well play it. And again, it's going to trigger your summons from the graveyard. So do it. Triple Solemn Judgment. Sometimes you just need to get rid of that spell trap. Less on the monster. That's really what the strike is for. And strike will also help us deal with monster effects because, again, monster effects are going to be nasty. And, Solemn Judgment is probably going to be one of the things that's really going to help you with Jinzo. Whereas strike is kind of it's just not going to work. So do that. We do get to play Torrential Tribute. I was sporting a double. I did think 2 or 3 was too many. 1 just didn't come up enough. And yes, it does make it so that your opponent has to interact. But again, most everybody knows which decks are going to do what. So if you know what deck is going to do what, then you know when you're going to need to stop the summoning loops to break their play for the turn. At which point, Torrential Tribute, excellent tech card for you. Just go ahead and play it. Trap Trick again. Believe it or not, I never got to play this one during my playtests. So what you would do is banish a normal trap from your deck, except Trap Trick, and set one with the same name from the deck. Also, it can be activated this turn, which is great, but it has to be a normal one. So again, this kind of lets us power out our Paleozoics. Honestly, again, you could set your Torrential Tribute if you're expecting some shenanigans from the opponent. And you can only activate 1 of these per turn. So it's fantastic. I wish I'd gotten to play it. It is fun, but so it goes. Back over to the extra deck, we got Animal Icarus. And this is 3 or more level 2 characters. This is unaffected by the monster effects. Once per turn, if a traps is sent from the spell trap to the graveyard, except during damage step, you can excavate the top card of your deck. If it's a trap, add it to the hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard once per turn during either player's turn. If this card has a trap card as Xyz material, you can detach material from this, target a card on the field, and destroy it. He's good, but he's not great, so I only ran a single. I was all about Opabinia, though. 2 level 2s. This card is unaffected by the monster card effects. You can activate Paleozoic traps from your hand, which is fantastic. If this card has a trap as Xyz material, you can detach an Xyz material from this and add 1 Paleozoic trap from the deck to the hand, allowing you to tutor and activate them from your hand. Fantastic. And you can only use this effect once per turn, but the tutoring effect only has to be once per turn. The fact is, we can dump our entire hand and just continually loop summon. So, Opabinia times 2, guys. Sky Cavalry Centuria, just a really good Xyz 2, rank 2. 2 level 2s. They cannot be destroyed by battle while it has material. At the end of the damage step, if it battled an opponent's monster, you can detach material from this to bounce that opponent's monster from the field to the hand. So again, as a rank 2, having 2k power is pretty fantastic. And also having the ability to smash into larger cards and still throw them off the field, even better. Single. Totally awesome. You got to run it at 3. And I'm almost rethinking that. I'm thinking 2 might actually be enough. I didn't need to play it too often. But again, 2,200 on a rank 2. Fantastic stat right there. This one does need that they be aqua type, which again, all of our Paleozoic traps became aqua types. Plus we have, what, I don't know, 8 frogs in the deck. So that's fantastic. Real quick, once per turn during the standby phase, you can detach material from this card to special summon a frog from your deck, which allows you to quickly extend and also set up his second effect, which is once per turn during either player's turn. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or monster effect, you can send 1 aqua from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. Then you can set the card to your field. Think about that. I get your card. That's awesome. Now, if this is sent to the graveyard, we get to target a water monster in our graveyard and add it back to our hand. And again, we could do some recycling doing that, but we're really about the first few effects. And again, we maximized it by running 3. You guys could feel free to run it at 2. Now, I think a lot of the links are fairly self-explanatory, so I'm just going to kind of like leave them on screen and then breeze through them. So like Apollosa here is in order to help block monster effects, because again, we could do that. Boral Sword is here to start punishing our opponent and just smashing over the cards, going for the big game strokes, because we can. IP Masquerena really wants to let us link summon and play during our opponent's turn. And again, any monster that they use this card as material can't be destroyed by opponent card effects, which is fantastic. You got the Cerberus, helps you deal with your opponent's special summon monsters. And again, with the Nightmare cards, they gain a little extra value here because we're able to throw our traps directly from our hand to the discard pile. So if we just want to summon them, we can. So again, Cerberus takes care of special summon monsters. Phoenix takes care of back rows. Unicorn seals a card to the opponent's deck. And last but not least, we got the double Mistar Boy. And this is one of my favorite things, is when you can double up on any one of these little jerks. You get whatever the attribute is that you're playing to be. These guys are immediately Monarch Strength. They get 500 for themselves. They get 500 from the other one. They're up 1,000. These guys are at 24 each. And then you've got the rest of your deck, again, like Totally Awesome was at 22. That makes it 32. That's 48 and 32. That's 8,000, my friends. And it's not too hard to pull off with this deck, especially with a proper Ronin Toad. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the deck. I hope that my winners get back to me rather quick, like last week's, because that would be fantastic. This week we are going to be doing Slifer in both the Speed Duel, and I should have that for you on Tuesday. I'm shooting for Thursday with the Masterclass Slifer the Sky Dragon deck. And then this week I'm going to end it out on Saturday with Magistus, because I know that the Genesis Impact has been out. It's been, what, 3-4 weeks now? Maybe a little bit longer. The rest of the stuff for the decks that I wanted to build has come in. So now I get to build all 3 of the decks from the Genesis Impact, and I'm going to start with the Magistus. And that's essentially what I'm planning for the week. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. I do hope that you will spread the word. Let your friends know about the channel. If any of this helps you, feel free to subscribe. If there's anything that you want to see, again, I've got 4 viewer requests in the hopper right now. And after I've done and accomplished those by mid-February, I do hope to take on a few more requests. And I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a great day.